Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the FitFam podcast. And we're excited to bring you the highlights from the Natural Olympia this weekend and some great things that happened there, and bring maybe some principles that we learned or relearned that were so powerful to us. So let's get started. As always, this is Miss Natural Olympia Hilary.
And this right here is Doug, the Formulator.
Remember to hit the bell and subscribe, and also you get notified when we have new episodes. And we're excited to kind of end the year strong and bring on some guests and talk about some things that we think will help you reach optimal health, especially in this holiday period. I mean, between now and the first of the year, the average American gains 10 to 15 pounds of fat.
Yeah, which, for those of us coming off of strict dieting protocols
for 9 months.
For 9 months straight can also be tricky to navigate. But no, I feel like also that is why consistency throughout the year is so important, so that when we have these, these little, peaks and valleys, when we're dealing with that, we aren't affected by it so much because we're so consistent for so long. So consistency always beats out perfection. So let's remember that.
Absolutely. And the holidays, remember, the holidays are not from now to January. There are specific times. And so you can stay consistent and then enjoy. Because if you go off the whole time, that's when the problem is.
And I think, here's my opinion. I know you don't love that, but here's my opinion. I believe that you can give yourself some flexibility as you're navigating your diet throughout the next 6 weeks, And honestly, just don't throw it all away, right? Sometimes it's like, oh, well, my diet's so off, I'm just not going to, focus on the things that need focusing on. I'm just not going to do my work. I'm just not going to do my exercise.
I'll worry about it, January.
I'm not going to take my supplements. So the things that you can maintain consistency in, let's go hard in those things. And then as, your nutrition catches up, do that. And what we'll do maybe in the next podcast is give some tips and tricks on how to stay consistent and to, some things with your nutrition that you can do to help through the holidays.
I like it. I like it a lot. And so this last weekend, fast and furious.
Yeah, I think I would just like to kind of go over how the weekend progressed, and then we'll kind of do some takeaways. And I wasn't able to give my speech at the Hall of Fame like I thought I was going to, because I got a bit emotional. So maybe I could share that here.
I'd love that. So the weekend started off a little early. I started off on Wednesday. Me and my friend Cole drove the jet car, the top secret jet car, to Vegas, because the days leading up to Olympia was the world's largest car convention show called SEMA. And they'd asked me to come out and fire up the jet car. I don't think they knew what they were getting into. So we went and in this parking lot, fired it up with thousands of people around. A lot of fun, craziness. And the takeaway, though, on that I want to give is leading into Olympia was really interesting, because it was about passion. And I seen people there. One guy was talking and he had 1 million followers, and they gave him this award of the year. I think it was like a creator of the year. And he was talking how him and a friend was just started making little videos in their garage on the weekends, kind of the guy, cave or the man cave. And they just loved deeply, were passionate about cars and some things, specific areas with cars and that. And so they just kept posting about it. And all of a sudden people saw their passion and actually overlooked that they were, they call themselves kind of hillbillies, like doing it however they could, but they saw the passion. And it just reminded me that there's so many areas in the world that if you just get passionate about something that you feel deep inside that you love and go all in, that miracles can happen, that things just come about that really can transform your life and many others and inspire them. And so it doesn't have to always be the things you hear from us on fitness. It's really about passion, and that deep passion consistently over time, as you said, will beat a perfect plan that's not followed consistently over time.
Yeah, I truly believe one of the magic things about being human, about human spirit, is having something that you are so passionate about that people can't help but jump on board and support whatever goal you're pursuing, because your passion is so magnetizing.
Will they
just
understand it or agree with it?
right,
They
they
still
just want to
jump on
be a
board.
part of that.
Yeah.
So
All right. So the weekend started after that with the Natural Olympia. Now, for people that don't know, the Natural Olympia is the world's largest bodybuilding show for natural athletes, and it's based on the ability as if it was in the Olympics, which they're trying to do. There was a committee formed, and I'm really excited about it to get it into the Olympics. But it's like the Olympics for natural bodybuilders. The same testing as the Olympics, WADA testing, the protocols that would need to be followed to get into the Olympics. So it really is the Olympics for natural bodybuilders. And I didn't get the final count. I believe it was close to 40 countries that showed up this year. And I think the largest pro turnout. So on Friday is the amateur Olympia.
yeah, so hold on. Okay, so Doug was there Wednesday, and then I drove out Thursday with Nevaeh and Dylan. And check-ins, registration begin on Thursday. So that's when everything starts to bubble
real.
up. Yeah, everything starts to get real. So full transparency, I was not feeling well Thursday, and that usually, I've had another Olympia where that happened, but it throws my game plan off a bit,
Yeah, you
right?
got sick.
So, because we're going to be talking about disruption following intention, right? And that kind of happened throughout the week. So we started off a bit different, right? So Doug left on Wednesday. I drove out on Thursday with Nevaeh and Dylan, who were both competing as well. And yeah, I normal protocols weren't followed because we had to navigate around being sick. So, but we registered, and registration is always chaos and fun because it like starts the weekend, right?
And you get in your head because you start to see all the other competitors and stuff. Sometimes.
That's not true. No, that is true. That is true.
But that was Thursday night. So then Friday.
So Thursday night is typically our last little pump. It's the last bit of cardio that you do. It's just that final little putting everything together. And we drove everybody with all of the different bodybuilders that we were with. I think there was probably 8 of us. And we drove to what is Dragon's Lair. It's like the place we love to lift. It's like a bodybuilding gym. And
Flex Lewis, shout out. Whoop, whoop.
And the only time I could get rid of my headache was if I was sleeping or if I was laying down. And on our way there, I fell asleep and I just couldn't even get out of the car. So even that last little bit of what is normal for us just didn't happen. But I did get good sleep that night, and that helped a bit. Friday morning is when everybody, the amateurs and the pros, get together, and there's kind of just we do like a big group picture, and we kind of honor each country that is there. And it really is the start of the excitement for the weekend, I think. And that happened, and it was amazing, right? Maybe we'll include some of the videos that we have throughout the weekend. And then the amateur show starts. So amateurs go all day, and tanning starts Friday, and Saturday is the show.
And the pro show on Saturday, Hilary was in 3 divisions. And the first division is called Figure Classic. It's actually one of my favorite. Hilary doesn't love it as much. She does it because I really love it. And she's won the Natural Olympia twice in this division, which is insane. But it's a one piece, and they do it kind of towards the front of the pro show because it's the classic. It's the OG, of the figure division. And, you speak to it, but Hilary wasn't in it to win it for that division, and I was getting frustrated. I was like, "Come on, let's go!" And
you didn't do it with that voice or that we had some talks backstage. Yeah, Doug put a coach hat on for sure. So I took third in that class, and we went off stage. And what I've learned about myself that we're going to work on, and I'm going to really focus on for 2026 and change, is that I am a better loser than I am a winner.
And different from what people think. She's not a bad winner as far as ego, da da da, in your face. She's a bad winner because the second she wins, she's like, "Oh, should I have really won?" And I don't know if I really won or not. And it's crazy. It's a different type of that. So go ahead. I just want to explain when you say a bad winner, what we mean by that.
Yeah, so we lost, yeah, or not lost, we took third, sorry, in classic. And we got off stage, we went backstage, and I just basically was like, I told you I didn't want to do it. You made me do that. And it's tricky to
Even though she took third on the planet.
it's tricky to peak your body for different divisions, right? You're working all week long. It's peak week to peak for one moment, for your body to just pull all of the nutrients into the muscles to look their best for one moment. And so it's tricky when you're doing that over
We
and
chose
over
to not
again.
fully prep you for that division. We still had our eye on the later divisions, but to do that one, to get the stage time and to enjoy the moment was the idea.
Yeah. And so what it kind of did for me was I realized, one, that I'm a better loser than I am a winner, and that it got in my head a bit with the other competitors and stepping back on stage with those other competitors in another division. And so I got some pep talks and some game time lectures. Let's call them game time lectures. And because Doug isn't a yeller. Doug never yells, but Doug gets firm in the way that he says, enough, it's game time. And that's kind of what I got. And it was the greatest thing. And I feel like within an hour or two, we tried to shift.
You did, and you say wheel up, but you shifted, and there was a question in my mind for a minute whether you were going to or not, right? And were we going to play the day out, which you would have done good still, but there's a difference because Hilary shines and moves up in the category the longer she's on stage because of her presence and her attitude and her that fighting spirit that's there, but her body responds when she's in it. And that didn't happen in figure classic. She actually got moved because she kind of got deflated a little bit and she didn't have that normal spirit about
Yeah,
her.
I don't think I stepped on stage confidently
Right.
in classic.
But you did, like over the top, you did flip the hat. You really did. And it was about 45 minutes to an hour later, which still gave us a good 4 to 5 hours prep time. And it was the biggest game changer ever. In fact, I'm glad we did that because I don't know that you would have came in as strong, even with a good attitude. Like you needed that to disrupt,
Yeah.
right, the situation, to create this, oh my gosh, I need to completely switch gears, not just be positive about what's to come in Pro Figure Masters and Pro Figure Open, but to really realize that, there's a concern there with how you approached that, sometimes winning or,
Yeah.
on stage. And it was a great switch because the reality is that it's this huge blessing. And we've both been working on this lately and really come into this awareness that it's a huge blessing to even get out of bed, especially then to exercise and to move and then to compete. There's so many things that can happen in life that disrupt that. And we've been a part of that disruption. And so the blessing of being able to do it, why not go 1,000% when you have the ability? Because you're not promised that ability every second, and might not ever happen again. So taking advantage, the seizing the moment concept. And so you seize the moment, getting ready.
Yeah, so the next division was figure masters, and that is 40 to 49. I think maybe there's 12 of us, I think. And we were on stage for quite a bit, and we were able to
You were able to
win that one. So that was
well,
an
and you
amazing.
came into it 4-time Miss Olympia Pro Figure Masters champion. What you think would be an advantage, and it is somewhat that they're going to kind of put you up there to judge no matter what in that position, but it doesn't ensure anything. But you came into that with a great attitude and an attitude of still love for the other competitors, because you love the same sport, but you were in it to win it. And you saw that, and you saw the moves with that. And in a subjective sport, it's critical to have that confidence on stage because it oozes out one way or another. And 5-time Miss Olympia Pro Figure Master Champion. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop, which was amazing and just so cool. And then after that is the Open, which it's every age category. And what made this year so much sweeter and just so much more amazing, even the entire Olympia experience, is that not only was I competing with Nevaeh, so I got to compete with Nevaeh again, and in the Open, my son-in-law Dylan was also competing this weekend.
Pro Men's Physique.
Pro Men's Physique. And now this year, my daughter-in-law won her pro card last week, and she was competing this weekend. So we had 3 family members. That's never happened. We had 3 different family members competing at Natural Olympia
In the pro division.
in the pro division, which is just unreal. My mind was just kind of elsewhere all weekend. And when I mean elsewhere, I just mean I was quieter. I was kind of just trying to soak in the fact that this may never happen again. This is completely different. I mean, four of us, so 4 altogether, because there was those 3: Nevaeh, Shelby, Dylan, and myself. So that was just.
And then you had a lot of friends there too.
And then also Nevaeh had
Grant
other
and-
competitors, and Dylan, my son-in-law's sister, was competing. Nevaeh's her coach, and Nevaeh's Shelby's coach, and then Brittany is works with Nevaeh in her business, and
She's
he's
pro
also her
figure
coach.
also?
Is also pro figure, and then her husband, who is Blake's business partner, also competes. So there was
It's
just
Dylan's business partner.
Oh, sorry, Dylan's business partner. Anyway, so it was just a weekend full of people close to us that were also competing, and it just made it that much sweeter.
Yeah.
And so Open was amazing, and myself and Nevaeh and Doug, look at the camera, Hilary. Doug, or Nevaeh, myself, and Brittany all made top 5 call outs.
Okay, so there was like
Open.
15 in that division, 14 or 15. So 15 of the top figure competitors, any age group, overall called the Open, as you mentioned, come out on stage. Well, how many different countries was represented in that group? But quite a few. I knew Italy, Czechoslovakia, Canada, Mexico, America, Australia. So there's a lot. And so it's crazy to even be looked at to get top 5. And that's something like, how many times have you made top 5? 4? 3 or 4?
I think 4 times.
In 10 tries,
Yeah.
4 times. And so it's a very tough thing to do. But what was crazy is we're in the audience and they announced the top 5. And I think they picked you first. Can't remember, but you were like one of the first. But then they picked Nevaeh. Then they picked Nevaeh's friend and partner, Brittany. And so we're sitting there looking, and there's Hilary standing with Nevaeh and Brittany in the top 5, while the other 10 or so are getting their, medals for making the Olympia, which was cool. But it was this emotional experience, and it was a crazy moment in time.
It was a crazy moment in time. I think at some point I will stop crying when I watch Nevaeh on stage, but it is the sweetest thing to watch her. And then for me, one of the sweetest things was that I knew she would be able to do her T-walk at the Natural Olympia, and this would be the first time in figure that she would be able to do her T-walk. So only the top 5 competitors have their single moment on stage before we have our moment to do our routine. We are quarter turned in front of the judges, and so they're doing they're picking their top 5 in these quarter turns, and you're quarter turned over and over again. And it was her first time being able to do that, and she has such a beautiful T-walk. Her T-walk is just amazing. She's one of the best posers I've seen in any organization. She's just very natural and so good at it. And so the fact that I knew she was going to first, that we both made top 5, was just remarkable. And then the fact that she was going to be able to do her T-walk that she's perfected over time, it was just such a cool moment.
So how it went down was they're up there and Hilary starts crying, And this is like the judges saying top 5, they're already kind of starting to look at them, right? While the others are getting their participation medal. So they're already judging. And she's there, and Hilary starts crying and kind of like, looking at Nevaeh because she's just so blessed and grateful and, all the mom stuff. And it was so obvious. And our daughter is the opposite. She's competitive, like normal competitive, like, like, hey, we see blood, let's go, let's get
Yeah, she
serious.
basically said, "Stop crying. We have work to do.
Yeah, so she tells her,
Quit
"Stop
crying.
crying.
We've got work to
Quit
do."
crying. We got work to do." And it was hilarious, but it was good, and it allowed Hilary to make that flip of enjoying the moment, enjoying the experience. It was crazy, but then they'll say, "Okay, it's time to go to work." So then they all 5 got their T-walks. Then they got judged, and they called for the winners, and it was 5th, and
Brittany took 5th, and this is her first Natural
which is
Olympia.
crazy.
Nevaeh took 4th, and I walked away with 2nd, which is the highest placing I've ever gotten
In open.
in the open, and it was great. It was unbelievably amazing, and I just feel really, really blessed. But also, we're going to work on some things for 2026, not only physically, but emotionally and mentally
Yeah,
for
let's
the
talk
next
about
year.
that as one point for this podcast. It's not just a reflection of the weekend, it's the things we learned. And let's talk about that real quick, and then I get go into your talk. Is what is it that you're going to change for 2026? And I'll try to relate it to everyone to what they might be able to do in their life. But what are you going to make? What change?
Okay, before I say what change, I do also want to mention a couple things. My son-in-law performed amazingly and looked phenomenal on
Dylan?
stage. I think it was his best showing at Natural Olympia. And then my daughter-in-law, Shelby, I think there were 30. Bikini is always a very large division. And Shelby, this was her first pro show. Natural Olympia is her first pro show. And
Crazy.
only her second show ever in her life. And she made top 6. So that's just a remarkable feat.
Yeah,
And
I've never seen it before.
it's the most competitive female class, the bikini. And so anyways, so incredibly proud of her. Brittany took 5th, and then Nevaeh's sister-in-law also made top 5 for wellness. So really such a great weekend overall for everyone. But for me, for physically for 2026, and we're still deciding whether or not I will compete in 2026. The goal was 10 consecutive Natural Olympias, and I feel very satisfied that we met that goal, and grateful, and I feel, what's the word, satisfied?
Satisfied, but it's the first time I've seen her this soon afterwards also feel hungry, and I like it.
So if we decide to compete physically, some of the goals is always leanness. We want to maintain leanness, but we also want to work on building some muscle and really, really perfect the lats. I'm still talking physically, and shoulder caps. And then the most important thing that we're going to work on for 2026 is mindset, and that we are all worthy to win. We are worthy to win. And I think that's something that I'm going to work on.
Yeah, because you have mastered the humility of winning better than anyone I know. Way better than anyone I know. The fact that you many times, don't think you won and you actually go the other direction with it versus being grateful that you won and caring about the other competitors, but really feeling, yeah, I did it type thing. And I think it is important because a lot of times you said something earlier about you maybe think that, it's wrong to be grateful to win and to do that when in reality, in my opinion, it's the opposite. The truth is you're not honoring God enough to if you win in something to say all glory to you, thankful I won, I did it, and you take it and you don't personally take the glory, but you take that you were able to accomplish that and you own it and you use it to inspire others immediately try to use
for
it to
sure.
inspire.
If the first thing I'm doing is comparison, which is what the killer of joy, right? And not feeling gratitude for the entire
Absolutely.
process of getting there and for God's hand in it, then I'm missing the point.
100%.
And I think I don't want to miss the point anymore.
I
So
like that. And so for everyone, all of us non-pro athletes, I take that as she went through this, even just today, was talking through it, and I'm like, okay, that application can go to a lot of other areas in life. So think about just areas that you accomplish something, and if you would just be grateful for it and be okay to talk about it and to express it or to feel internally the gratitude that you were able to accomplish this goal and give all of the glory to your creator, but actually be in it and use it to inspire others, people will feel if you're being cocky and arrogant versus you accomplish this and you're excited and here's the road it took and the disruption that happened and overcoming it. They'll be inspired by the story. It's all based on how you handle it. And I think in every life, how you work with your kids, how you are with your own body, how you treat your body in the wins. A lot of times we work with clients and praise them for what they do, and they're like, "Thank you so much. I am doing good."
Yeah.
Like it was
Well,
good.
not only I am doing good, but I have made specific shifts in my life. And we were speaking with clients today, and she made a comment about how she will get grief from other people when she brings out the lunch that she's brought with her to the office to eat her healthy lunch. And they're like, "Oh, you got your lunch. You can't eat with everybody else."
Mm,
And they're almost looking down on her for making her health a priority. So to hear positive feedback in the other direction means a lot to her, because she's like, this is not an easy thing. I do it to improve my health. And so for other people to,
yeah.
look at it in the opposite. So I think it's important that we should own our wins.
Own our
Let's own
wins.
our wins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in a great way. So I'm excited about that for 2026 for Hillary. And so then the event was over, and we enjoyed the evening. Going out to eat with family and
Hmm.
friends, and it's just always fun. It's
That's always
one of the
fun.
highlights.
Yeah.
But then Saturday morning, they start and they have all the pros that won gold, silver, or bronze. And Hillary won gold, silver, and bronze. So
That was cool.
that was
And that
cool.
was cool to be able
Trifecta.
to sit. There's an signing table, an autograph table, and you sit and people come through with their posters and you can sign them. And I got to have my grandson on my lap and we signed, these posters, and that was really fun. That was really fun. And then after that was the induction ceremony for the Hall of Fame, which is the icing on the cake for a decades long journey of whoa.
Well, it's even longer than a decade, right? You competed consistently without missing a year for 10 years in a row at the Olympia. And other shows you missed because of kids' events and things, and we've talked about that. But you made Olympia 10 years in a row, and that was your goal. But we're talking of over a 20-year goal of, wanting to be Miss Olympia and to compete at the highest level. So this is decades long.
Yeah, so um yeah, it was just really, really incredible to have made that goal, because there were a lot of times this year that I was kind of, no, I'm just going to pull out, because there's been other years where I wasn't perfect on a plan, and my physique wasn't there, but we did it anyways because we said we were going to do it. And so we showed up in that way in previous years. And so to have made it, a decade goal, that's a big goal. And so to know that we made it for that full decade really meant a lot to me. And all of my kids, with the exception of Bowen couldn't be there, but my other kids got to be there and my grandkids got to be there. And I didn't start winning at Natural Olympia until my daughter-in-law was pregnant with my first grandson. And so I feel like they ignited a new fire within me. And it was just a really big blessing to accept that award and to do it on stage and for us to do it with the grandkids there. So
Yeah, it was beautiful. And um, I think she was 33rd, 33 people, been inducted to the Hall of Fame. And it is neat because it's the Natural Bodybuilding Hall of Fame. And the criteria is really cool. It's just you have to really have done something that contributes to the natural athletic movement for pros,
Right.
and it can be different things, but that's really it, and the consistency and dedication. She could have done it with her wins, but what I think was the thing that really got her inducted was the loyalty and consistency and discipline, which is so inspiring, and everyone needs to see that and have the opportunity to hear it. And so the different other inductees talked and that, and it was time for Hillary, and she had a great talk planned. But the emotions were so high, and you have someone speak for her. So I did a little intro talk, and it was really, the emotions were just powerful, and it was a great, beautiful moment. And so Hillary kind of changed up her talk. So if you would, the end here, it was like a 2 or 3 minute talk is all. Would you give it the one you were going to give?
Okay.
Let's do it.
Um, what an honor it is to be inducted into the Natural Bodybuilding Hall of Fame. Just gratitude towards the Keikoses and all that they've done to build such a legacy. For me, the weight room has been my lifeline since junior high. It was my outlet when life soared high and my anchor when life got brutally hard. As a young girl, my favorite characters were He-Man and She-Ra. As I got older, I'd watch Mr. Olympia on television. I loved feminine warriors with beautifully built muscle. I never dreamed that it was something that I could do, but God had plans. I met Doug, and with our 4 kids, the gym became our family heartbeat. We'd train together, sharing our deepest talks mid-set. Doug was inducted to the Hall of Fame before me. I teased him that I'm the one grinding on stage, but somehow he gets to be into the Hall of Fame before. But truly, a supportive partner is the difference in the sport. He is the real MVP and truly deserved it for his commitment to the INBA. Um, it's funny because Denny is very similar to Doug. When Doug and I first pulled up to their
Denny's the
home, the
president, I think.
president of the INBA, they had lightning bolts on their gate, and we too have lightning bolts on our gate. And we just looked at each other and were like, oh no, we have found your brother from another mother. So Doug has logged every single hour beside me in the gym and outside of the gym, pushing, encouraging, lifting me on the quit days, and reminding me to stick to my commitments. When I vowed 10 straight Natural Olympias, this year's challenges nearly broke me, but Doug's daily affirmations kept me going. Bodybuilding is in our family DNA. My son Marley has competed in classic physique, Braven in physique. My son-in-law Dylan, 5-year physique pro. My daughter Nevea, bikini to wellness to figure. She's my fierce inspiration, and training with her is unbelievable. She makes you push harder than you think you can, and she makes me try to match her strength and calls me out when I do not. Sharing the stage with her is pure magic and the highlight of my bodybuilding career. And then just last week, my daughter-in-law Shelby earning her bikini pro card, competing with both of my girls, was unbelievable, and I'll cherish it forever. I was quieter than usual, soaking every moment in. My first show was over 20 years ago. Marley was 7, Braven was 5, and Nevaeh was 8 months old. They've grown up in this world. I started placing in 2020, the year my daughter-in-law was pregnant with our first grandson, Heber. He's turning 5 soon. He and his little brother Rocky are my good luck charms. Hearing them cheer for me in the crowd melts me.
Oh, yeah,
Go yeah, yeah. Last night, then we were front row, and my 2-year-old grandson was sitting in the front row as the men's bodybuilding came out, and he started ripping off his shirt and flexing with them. And so it's pretty incredible to watch the next generation enter, like my kids, and now the next generation, and I can just see it in him. He's gonna be a bodybuilder. So that's just incredible. My husband and my kids have been at every Olympia, fueling my dreams. I'm grateful for my friends that also went, Ashley and Cole, and supported me. Thank you to bodybuilding. Thank you to the Keikos family. And huge gratitude to all the friends that I've met through the journey of this sport. It is truly like family. I look forward to stepping on stage every year. But equal to that, I look forward to seeing all of my bodybuilding family and catching up with them. And bodybuilding is my life.
Boop, boop.
Boop, boop.
Oh, great. And, let's end the show with your opportunity to be better at winning. Um, you know, 5-time Miss Olympia Pro Figure Masters. You've worked your way up from 17 out of 17 place to, making top 5, making top 4, 3, now 2, and um, just inspiring the family to now be on an Olympia stage, get inducted to the Hall of Fame. It was a phenomenal weekend, but it was a weekend of showing what is possible with commitment and discipline and consistency, that whatever your dreams are. And that was really cool.
It was really cool.
And, we were going to talk about one last thing. So why don't we maybe touch on it, and we can hit it better the next episode. But one of our good friends and clients, mentors, Myron Golden, talks about whenever you set intention, then
disruption follows.
Disruption follows, and it's how you handle the disruption that determines the outcome.
Yeah, instead of slamming on the brakes, you push the gas and turn into the curve with those disruptions. So we'll go into that next time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's really the key, and talk about maybe some of the things that you can do when disruption happens to determine whether it really is a disruption of saying, oh, bad choice, or it's a disruption because you set a goal and disruption has to happen and you have to push into it. And there is a little bit of a nuance with that, that comes with just being in tune and in touch with your spirit and goals, and whether they're worthy goals or not. So we'll go into that some more. Super excited about it. Congratulations to 5-time
Thank you.
Miss Olympia and Hall of Fame, latest inductees, second one in the family. And
I have to live with that.
but so it makes our life fun. Our family is quite good at stuff like that, keeping everyone.
Okay. Time to end.
As always, this is Miss Natural Olympia, 5-time Hilary.
And this guy right here is Hall of Famer himself, the Formulator, Doug.
One time.
One time.
Thanks, everyone. Keep chewing.
Bye.